everyone, welcome back to Vintage and Crafty. Today we're going to work on my personal Christmas junk journal. I have so much out here and this is going to be something that's going to be done in more than one day because I haven't made my signatures yet. Nothing is set in stone. I need to choose which fabric I'll be using for my cover, and I have 4 to choose from. I'm leaning towards this fabric just because it's really fun, whimsical. I feel like it's almost a little childlike, and I want to be putting Christmas memories throughout the years in there, so I'm not sure how much Lacey, how much you're really gonna see. It's rolled up right now, but it's just a beautiful fabric. I made a Christmas junk journal out of this fabric and that turned out so amazing. It's listed on my Etsy. It is one of my all-time favorites. Probably, actually, it might be my favorite journal I ever made. I think it just came out so wonderfully. It's listed up there if you want to take a gander at it. And then I have this kind of buffalo check one, which I love red. It's actually my favorite color. But I just, for the ideas that I have, I just don't know if this one is going to go wonderfully with it. Then I have this one, which is really cute. It's just a little dark. However, I have these 3 pins, which most likely all 3 of these will be going on the cover. They're from one of my favorite holiday traditions. I've had more of them, but these are the only 3 I can find right now. This goes so nicely together, and this one even together looks fine. This one I feel like it kind of clashes, and it definitely goes better with these 3. But I think I'm gonna go with this one. I think this is the winner. It is, because I love a lot of these pages. This goes so well. A lot of these pages will go with this. Yeah. Okay. Now I spent way too much time on that. We're going to make the book. So I'm going to make it out of a cereal box. And the first thing I need to do is cut this. So I like to keep all this extra cardboard because I can make things out of this cardboard. You could toss it if you didn't want to, but I like to keep them on because I can make bookmarks, I can make tabs. So all these get tossed to the side to use for later. These boxes are always too big, so this is where you are going to measure. We need a book. I actually just made this for my best friend. If you would like to go view this, this was actually done on my main channel just because of the theme of the book. I felt like it just fit very well. On it, you could actually measure it. This is perfect to make. That came out like so perfectly. That one, these bits I'm gonna toss. Alright, so now that I have my rough cut, we're gonna go in and we're gonna clean it up and cut it more carefully. Personally, I find it much easier to go in with a rough cut and then clean it up because this box was a large box. And just measure it up, see if it's even. So now I like to cover this up before I put any fabric down. I use these light color cardstocks because I don't have a lot of use for them, but they're perfect for covering up boxes. It just got extremely windy if you hear that. So I'll take 2 of these. Then we're gonna Mod Podge them down. It also just adds a layer of security. So I'll snip that. It just gives it a little bit more strength. I'm gonna be really weak in this moment and not open up my Mod Podge. There you go. Do a nice layer of this, and I like to make sure it's very thinned out so there are no bubbles. And then we just add the paper, and that way you don't see Honey Nut Cheerios lower cholesterol peeking through. If you wanted to, you could. I could see like doing a recipe book and having little bits of old packaging in them. I think that would be really cute, but not for my Christmas journal. Make sure it's nice and flat. I'll have to trim it up in certain spots, like right up here, but that's perfectly fine. And I always keep the scraps for when I'm making my like tabs and bookmarks. So then I like to bend it to make sure that it doesn't get too stiff, because that can happen with the Mod Podge. And then once I do that, I just go back and make sure the edges have flat. And as you can see, I missed a little bit of spots here. I'm not really worried about that. That should be pretty good. You probably will not see that. If you really were not happy with that, you could go and cover that up. But when I'm making my own journal, I let little things like that slide. When I'm making a journal for someone else, the whole thing will be perfectly covered. It's just how I am. For me, it's fine. But for other people, I'm like, nope, can't be. Like, it has to be better than that. It has to be better than that. But I definitely recommend going back and just making sure your edges are smoothed, because it can pull up when you bend, but I feel like bending it is important as well. So I recommend bending it and then going in there and making sure everything just smooths out well. This little bump here, this is the crease. So as you can see, when it is bent like this, it's fine. And when it's not, you can just see the crease. You can see it over here too. You can always take your scissors. It would be nice if I had a bone folder. I used to. I've said this so many times, but I've lost it, and just smooth out your edges. You can also do this with a paper clip. You can do this with your nail. If you want it to go like that, you could, but I like doing that. That's something I recommend doing as well. And I do need to trim it just a little bit right here, but I will do that once it's dried. Okay, so it's trimmed and dried enough, and the weirdest thing happened. My camera, which I turned off because I wanted to clean my brush, and I wanted to just save battery life as I waited for this to dry. It turned on, and the light behind you guys got a lot brighter, which helps me see better, but it was odd. I have my fabric here, and the thing I'm not sure about is if I'm going to do fabric on the inside as well, or if I'm only going to do it on the outside and do paper on the inside. Here is the fabric. So we have a deer, which the deer is so pretty, snowman, Santa, a penguin. I just think this is going to be fun, especially for the childhood memory parts that I'll add in here. I think that the child Christine would have loved this fabric. I love deer, and the deer is so pretty. My eyes go right to the deer. So we have lots of beautiful cardstock to choose from, and cardstock that really matches well with this. I love the trees. The snowmen work really well. The Santa and snowmen work really well as well. So this one works pretty well with that. See, this one is probably my favorite, and I'm thinking it's going to be this one. I have some scrap too, which would be good. That was my dog. First thing would be I want to put this one here into the spine. So this is scrap paper, which is perfect for using for your spine. We need to even it out though, so let's do that. Okay, now let's go from here and we'll snip it where I need to. Oh, I also have this beautiful silver paper, which is just so gorgeous, and it would look really pretty inside. I overthink things far too much. And that got rid of scrap that I had just kind of laying around, so that's really good. Now we're going to Mod Podge this. I spent time washing this for no reason, because I decided to change my idea. That's in here pretty much perfectly. I think I might go with this beautiful silver paper. I just love this, and it would break up that matchy-matchy thing I have going on, which I don't mind it sometimes, but I do like to do that. I've done that on a couple of different journals. That was my dog. Sign away. Let's go with this. I just think this is perfect. It feels a little more New Year's, but it's still festive and fun. Oh, this feels so much different than I thought it was going to feel. So I'm gonna actually cut it a little bit short, just so I make sure I have enough, because I'm gonna wind up putting the fabric over and then folding it along the edges, so I'm able to go a little bit shorter. It's a little bit short. So this paper was a little bit shorter than these papers. This paper probably would have been better to use. I didn't do that though. So I think I'm gonna try to do it this way and use the fabric to, I always fold it inward anyway, so it might look okay. We'll see. We will see. And if not, we cover the inside with fabric. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. This I'm probably gonna make tabs out of because it is so pretty. We're going to go ahead and put on the fabric. So I'm going to leave it like this, and then when I turn it over, I'm going to fold it in, and then it's like there was no mishap. So this is what we're working with. Oh, by the way, I took a break because my camera died and I was watching Disney Plus and it's about to turn off. So if you hear that in the background, my bad. This has been a crazy video, has it not? But this is what we're working with, and this is pretty good. I usually, when I put paper down on books that are this size, I normally use paper like this, and when I cut it in half, because I'm not doing the spine, it's usually more than enough. This turned out to be a little bit shorter than these. However, because I'm covering it with fabric, that works out perfectly for me. It really is not an issue. So I was thinking about using a tag because I was thinking about writing Christmas throughout the years. I have white and brown. I think white would be better. And I think I should glue it here and then do a little bit of a snip, overlay it that way. That's how I think I should do it. And when I do this, I always use a hot glue gun. I think it works best. So when I do this, I'm going to fold it over and I'll be able to create a nice cover with this, and you won't even know that this was a little bit short. And this is perfect for me. This is exactly what I really wanted. I'm really happy with it already. I haven't even completed it yet, and I'm already super happy about it. I also have, these are wine glass charms. These are perfect to add to these books, and I want to add one. I really like the snowflake one. I'm gonna add it to here. I think that will just kind of really make this a little more festive. I don't know how well you guys can see, but I like the snowflake one quite a lot. But I like the ornament one too. I just don't know. I think the snowflake really ties into the theme of the fabric though. So let's just go with that. I'm going to untie this and I'm going to create a new knot. So there that is. That is so cute. And then I'm going to get my hot glue gun and glue this right here, and I'll be right back. I also use Gorilla Glue hot glue, which and that holds really well, so I recommend that one if you can get your hands on it. We're going to glue down the fabric. Oh, and the fabric glue I use is Beacon Fabri-Tac. I think that this stuff is amazing. It holds really, really well. So let's trim the fabric. Snip right here. I feel like it just bends so much better when you do it right by the spine. You snip that and you fold it inward here. I'm debating if I want to cut this a little bit more. I would behead a reindeer if I do. But maybe I should. Sorry, reindeer. Yeah, I think that's better. It was a little too long and I beheaded a reindeer, but what can you do? The cool thing about junk journaling and making one is that you really get a sense of pride after you have like a mishap or something happen where you just weren't sure, because there's always mishaps, always. But once you see it come together, you get that sense of pride, like, wow, that looks good. I'm impressed with myself, with what I made. If you were curious, this fabric was a fat quarter. Also, another thing you could do for more of a vintage look is you could throw this into the washing machine and then all of the sides would fray. Pretty good. So I have tags and I was thinking of putting, I like Let It Snow, putting one on here. I don't know what I want to do. Like that one, that kind of goes with the theme, but then I kind of like this one. It says it's the season to be jolly, Merry Christmas, oh holy night. So I finished this off camera and I added a wreath and I added just this button pin right on the outside because I didn't like all of them on the outside with all of this going on. Let me just talk you over what I did and how I decided on it. So I was actually watching this video on YouTube. I'll link it down below. I used to have this when I was little on VHS. I watched it every year, but as I was watching it, and trying to figure out what tag I should use, I was looking at Joy to the World when the Joy to the World song came on, and I felt like, well, I have to add that. That's the tag. I wanted to add a little flower sticking out just because I thought it was cute, and then a button, and then we flip it open the inside, and here are the buttons that I did not put on the outside cover. And then I have a little snowman over here, and I figure that if I find more buttons, I can add them down here and across. And when I go back, which probably won't be this year because the pandemic, but next year, I can always add the buttons as the years go by. I think this came out really well. I could have been a little bit better with the fabric and tugging on it because I did not steam this one, but I don't mind it at all. Like, it's for me. Again, when I sell these, I'm very particular about fabric. Like, here, I'm working on this for somebody, so this is kind of like, this isn't even glued down yet, but I steamed this fabric, and I was really particular about getting the creases of this fabric out, and I steamed it. So this one's coming out really well, and I'm really excited about that. But this is not about this journal. This is being made for a customer. So as you can see, mine is a little bit wrinkly and theirs is not, and that's simply because it's mine. I can be a little bit less perfect with mine, and I'm not gonna mind. It's more wrinkly on the back. I do love the label here with the wreath and the snowflake charm. I think that is just so cute. That's probably one of my favorite parts about the cover, other than the beloved pin. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will be doing a part 2 where I get my signatures together and I sew them in. So be on the lookout for that, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.